If you're looking for an Apple laptop, you've come to the right place. Here we'll look at the different models available to help you decide which is best for you. The first thing to decide is which of the main device types to go for. You can then start looking at the different configurations. Here we've rounded up everything from the MacBook Air to the 16-inch MacBook Pro, to help you work out what each model offers, how much they cost, how they can be configured and what their pros and cons are. Coincidentally, 2017's 12-inch MacBook is now no more, replaced by the cheapest MacBook Air. So, let's find out which Apple MacBook is the one for you. Quick summary. The MacBook Air is the cheapest MacBook available overall, and the lightest option. It also offers the longest battery life, Touch ID and a Retina display with True Tone technology. After a full refresh it was updated in 2019 and then again in March 2020. 2019 models are still available at present, so we've kept the latest prices alongside the 2020 models below. The MacBook Pro 13-inch with Touch Bar is the model for those who want the power, a lighter design, Touch Bar and Touch ID functionality, as well as more Thunderbolt 3 ports. It comes at a cost though, with a starting price that's quite a bit steeper than the model without the Touch Bar. Finally, the MacBook Pro 16-inch with Touch Bar is the king of the MacBooks with the best power and largest storage options, biggest screen and the Touch Bar and Touch ID features. It is also the most expensive, however, and this probably isn't the MacBook you'll want if you're constantly on the move. Apple MacBook Air 2019 and 2020. Dimensions 304.1 by 212.4 x 41 to 156 mm, 1.25 kg. Display 13.3 inches, 2560 by 1600, 227 pixels per inch, 400 nits brightness, True Tone. Connections: 2 USB Type-C ports, 3.5 mm headphone jack. Battery 12 hours. The MacBook Air got a full design update in October 2018 followed by a refresh in July 2019 and then in March 2020. All models retain the iconic wedge shape. It's now thinner, lighter and it features Touch ID, a Retina display and True Tone technology. The 2020 version has the same refreshed keyboard as the 16-inch MacBook Pro below. In terms of the 2020 models, the Air is upgraded to 10th generation Intel Core processors, the 2019 had 8th generation. The base model is well priced and has a dual-core 1.1 GHz Intel Core i3 processor, 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage, doubled from 2019, while the other off-the-shelf configuration has a quad-core 1.1 GHz Intel Core i5 chip, 8 GB of RAM and up to 1 TB of configurable storage. It's the first time there's been a quad-core MacBook Air. All models feature Intel's latest Iris Plus integrated graphics and can be upgraded to 16 GB of RAM. Once more, the Air comes in silver, space gray and gold. The Air is a little more flexible than the old MacBook when it comes to ports, in that it offers an extra USB-C port for a total of 2. The only bum note is that the FaceTime HD webcam sticks with 720p resolution. It's about time we moved on. Apple MacBook Pro 13-inch 2019. Dimensions 304.1 by 212.4 by 149 mm, 1.37 kg. Display 13.3 inches, 2560 by 1600, 226 pixels per inch, 500 nits brightness, True Tone. Connections: 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, 3.5 mm headphone jack. Battery 10 hours. The 13-inch MacBook Pro with the Touch Bar and Touch ID is for those who want the power and the latest features, but still in a compact and easily portable device. The base model has a quad-core 1.4 GHz 8th generation Intel Core i5 processor, 128 GB of storage and 8 GB of RAM. The top-spec model has a quad-core 2.8 GHz 8th generation Intel Core i7 processor, 16 GB of RAM and 2 TB of storage. Some configurations have Intel Iris Plus graphics 645, while others have 655. Like all the newer MacBooks, this 13-inch MacBook Pro says bye-bye to the ports. It does, however, offer more than the MacBook Air, with 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports. You'll still need adapters to transfer images from an SD card, for example, but the extra ports will allow you to do more simultaneously than you can do with the MacBook Air. The MacBook Pro with Touch Bar and Touch ID is available in silver or space gray, comes with a 720p FaceTime HD camera and has 3 microphones. Apple MacBook Pro 16-inch 2019. Dimensions: 358 by 246 by 16.2 mm, 2.0 kg. Display: 16 inches, 3072 by 1920 resolution, 226 pixels per inch, 500 nits brightness, true tone. Connections: 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, 3.5 mm headphone jack. Battery: 11 hours. Our final MacBook is one of the most powerful machines Apple has ever produced, an absolute powerhouse that, in all honesty, is definitely overkill for most people. It's got Apple's biggest ever laptop battery, its biggest ever laptop screen with beautiful color range and crisp detail, an all-new and amazingly satisfying keyboard, and processing power that will crunch through any task. That said, it's also massively, hugely expensive, and that chunky battery doesn't stop the huge display from absolutely eating up its power, struggling in our experience to get near the 11 hours Apple's claiming. It's also, obviously, not the most portable laptop given its size. Still, if you want the absolute maximum in power that Apple can offer, it's a bit of a monster.